Sure. And I talk a lot about this in my book, The Big Boom. And it's a really good differentiator, because once you set these kind of frame around what sales is and what marketing is, they go together. And it's really powerful, because marketing, once you learn and understand and figure marketing out, you'll never have to worry about getting customers and clients ever again. Right? That's what Manny does for businesses, is he figures out the market, how to position yourself better as an expert, as an authority, how to profit more, create more profit centers. You're doing one thing, but you can keep doing that thing and have more profit, right? That's totally possible. Many business owners they're not online. Well, if you're not online, and you haven't figured out e-commerce, and you haven't figured out how to build a list and how to monetize that list, you're leaving who knows how much, right? So that's marketing, is the art of positioning, profiting, and promoting. That's my definition, right? Positioning, and at our live event, we spend an entire day breaking that down. How to position yourself better, how to profit more, and how to promote. Sales is the art of being able to communicate your message in benefit-driven language effectively and congruently, honestly, and authentically. Right? That's the art of sales. And so I've broken down sales into a 5-step process. And that I go into extensively in the book, because it's crucial. Once you get sales down, and you come from outside of yourself and you truly want to help that person, you'll always do well. Like, we know, we've all had that experience where we were sold something and we loved it. We loved it. It was literally like talking to a friend, and afterwards you're like, I want to buy something. We don't like to be sold, but we love to buy. Right? We don't want to be sold something, but we love buying. Well, I know I do. Especially fedoras. Right? I want to have a great experience buying things. But the only way that happens is if the salesperson comes from outside of themselves, is not thinking about their commission, is not thinking about anything, but figuring out what I want and how to get it to me. And so that's a 5-step process. And I believe that everything has a system. And everything has a step-by-step process. And once that process becomes you, it becomes authentic. So that's the difference between sales and marketing.
Perfect, great answer. Deborah, I know you built a huge multi-million-dollar company, travel the world, do a lot of work in Europe, you talk to a lot of CEOs. Can you talk about how basically your organization, generally what you do with marketing, and how you build a tremendous amount of sales in your company? Is it something you do? Do you spend a lot of time personally selling? Do you have a team? Can you just talk about the general structure of the organization?
Sure. So to your point about being online, it's interesting how many companies I talk to every day that aren't online, and then they wonder why things aren't flowing the way they should. So for instance, one of the markets that we've served since 2006 is the super yacht industry, which is what basically takes me to Europe so much. And within that industry, the pushback I got when we were introducing different kinds of marketing campaigns, and basically you want to identify your customer segment. You got to know that customer segment, and then you have to find out how that customer likes to be marketed to. So the mindset was that these are ultra high net worth individuals, they're multi-millionaires, they're billionaires. They don't go online, and I don't know where that thought came from, because my first reaction was someone in that position is always online. They're not ostriches with their head buried in the sand. So there's this interesting, and I want to just kind of divert for a second. There's an interesting thing that happens when you don't know what you don't know. And that is then you automatically start assuming that no one else knows either. And so as you start to raise up your self-awareness, and I really think this is the key, as you start to raise up your self-awareness and you begin to realize how much you don't know, that's the next step of consciousness, right? So then you start to reach out and look for information and to be able to expand your horizons, to be able to expand your awareness. And you just keep elevating that. And as you raise, I call that a vibration. So as you raise your vibration, then it actually begins to compound, and you begin to allow in more resourceful ways of thinking and more willingness on dynamic of approaching situations. So basically it increases choice. And what comes from that is a flexibility in your thinking. So this is essentially what I'm telling you is what we do. And it's what we've employed through the process of our marketing and our sales. We've hit a tipping point now where the phone rings. You know, it's interesting because as you, it's a meme actually, if you understand how memes work, they're self-propagating thinking systems that are biopsychosocial, so biological, psychological, sociological. And as you start to get into understanding how that works and applying it to your marketing, then your marketing actually becomes, it's almost like it becomes your sales force. Like you're inviting pursuit from the people that are really ready to receive what it is you have to offer. And then you're ready to give and serve to their needs. So that is and I'm trying not to get scientific because I have a tendency to want to go there, but that's like building up the bandwidth on your ability to accept a higher level of responsibility for your life. Does that make sense? So when you're willing to accept a higher level of responsibility for your life, you're basically stepping into playing a bigger game, and within that more flow comes. So, you know, it's like the universe or God or the cosmos, whatever you want to call it, it's like a floodgate opens and it just shows up. You know, it just arrives when you're really truly ready to receive. And how do you know when you're ready to receive? It's being in alignment with really truly what you say that you want. So one of the things we do, we have a business conference coming up in December, and I've called it the Business Success Blueprint Conference, because it's a marriage between neuroscience, getting your mind right, and the actual pragmatic steps of building your business model and your strategic plan and all the rest of it. So within that is I've observed that you can do all the work and all the steps, but if consciously you're not prepared for that next level of responsibility for your whole life, then it just doesn't come, or it'll come and you'll deflect it, or it'll come and you'll sabotage it, or it'll come and it just won't stick. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's like no separation anymore between the external world that you're creating and the internal world that you're running on a conscious level. So if things aren't showing up for you the way you want them to, there's one of two things that haven't happened yet. One, you either haven't made a decision to actually have it, or two, somewhere in your unconscious patterning, in your neurological makeup, there's some sort of limiting belief or fear, doubt, limitation, limiting decision that's going on that's actually you're not aware of. So it behooves you to do the work to sort through that. And then because, we live in an infinitely abundant universe, everything you could ever possibly imagine is currently at your fingertips. The only thing that's keeping it from being like in your hand is your consciousness. And this is the big push these days. I'm so grateful because I've been talking about this for 20 years. And for a long, long time when I talked about it, people thought I was loco, and now people are actually sitting there going like that. So yes, we are there. Like humanity, I feel, hit a tipping point. 2008 was the biggest blessing we probably could have had, because it brought us to our knees and made us realize that this ego-based, industrial-aged thinking isn't the way that humanity really works. I can go on, so I was just like,